In this video, I'll be comparing Lite versus full experience in Microsoft Copilot Studio. Now, there are two ways to build an agent. One is a light mode and another is like with a full experience. Now, the light mode can be accessible using Microsoft 365 Copilot and full experience is available using Microsoft Copilot Studio application. Now, it all really depends on the target audience, depend on the need, and depending on the functionality. Now, if you see this chart, this chart is sourced from Microsoft. Now, the first question you would ask is like, is the agent external to the organization? So, is the agent going to be used by external users? If the answer is yes, directly go into the full experience because in the light experience you don't have that capability to publish to other channels. And if the answer is no, then you check is the scope of the agent broad, whether it spans department or the organization. So if the answer is yes, yes, it can be built in full experience. Does the agent supports complex workflows, writing to systems, multi-step processes? The answer is yes, full experience. Now, you can write a very complex process flow using Copilot Studio Experience, but you get a very limited capability in the light experience. Now, the next question in the chain is, does the agent require granular management controls, like an ALM scenario or dev test prod environments, or like role based access control, or you want to take the telemetry and put it into some different systems like the Azure Application Insights? If the answer is yes, full experience. If no, then you can build your agent in the light experience. Now, I've just done a simple comparison. Now, access point, how do you access the light experience is using the M365 Copilot app. Full experience is the Copilot Studio app. Who are going to use your, like the user of the user type uh, is basically an information worker for the light experience and makers and say low code dev with a full experience. Now, target audience, who's going to consume the bot or consume the agent? Internal organization, small team, but in the full experience, internal organization staff, external customer, or small or large user base. Publishing, you can just publish it to the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. That's the Microsoft 365 Copilot app itself. Now, in the full experience, there are broad channel available, so you can publish into uh, say third party system like say ServiceNow or Salesforce, or you can publish into a demo channel, or you can publish into a website, or you can publish into even Teams and Microsoft 365. Use cases, Q&A based scenarios, but here the in the full experience, like there's whole bunch of heaps of use cases which you can author your agent. Model selection, so there is a no model selection available in light experience, but in full experience, yes, you can select a model. You can select the large language model. You can even change the large language model when you create a prompt, so you can even build a prompt which will utilize the large language model from Azure AI Foundry. Solution selection, so there's no solution selection, and full experience, yes, so you can actually configure which solution your agent should belong to, and then you can utilize that solution in the ALM pipeline, and then you can transfer the solution from the low environment to high environment like dev, test, prod. Tool usages, there's a limited set of tool usages in the light experience, but in the full experience, yes, you get an abundant options to configure your tool for a specific scenario. Now let's look into some aspects over here. So first we'll look into the licensing part. Now if you see the licensing part, now from a Copilot Studio perspective, you get two options: pay as you go meter and a subscription. And with Copilot Studio, use right with Microsoft 365 Copilot, which we are talking about as a light experience. So this one is so the Copilot credit is basically pay as you go in the pay as you go meter, but you get 25,000 Copilot credits with the Copilot Studio subscription pack. With Copilot Studio Use Right, you get unlimited. However, there are some conditions to it. Generative AI, it's available in all of them, but limited in the M365 Copilot. Now you can create and publish your own agent. Yes, that can be done using the first two approaches, but then with the Lite experience, you will not be able to do that. In the Lite experience, you can publish your own agent and extend M365 Copilot. So that you can do, but the limit is you can only publish into the M365 Copilot space and not anywhere else. The output you create is basically your own agent, Power Automate Cloud Flows is available in the credit pack subscription. Standard Power Platform connector, premium custom Power Platform connector, Dataverse for Copilot Studio, manage environment. So all these things are available in all of the channels with some conditions. Now, available channels to publish your agent. So you get to see a very varied array of channels like the Facebook, WhatsApp, internal web, Teams, etc. But in the Lite experience, you only get M365 experience. Now, how does the M365 experience looks like? So let me show you that. So I'm in m365.cloud.microsoft. So here in this URL, this is like M365 Copilot experience. Now here you can build agents. Now these are some of the by default agent which has popped up. Now in order to build an agent, you can go ahead and click on create agent. But before you create an agent, you can have a list, look into the list of all the agents that are available for you to use. You can pick up any agent. So if I pick up say pickleball agent, this agent will show you that prompt area whereby you can type in a prompt, or you can pick in the prompt from the suggested prompt, and then you can even start the dictation. You can even start adding the content. You can add a work content, you can upload an image and file, or you can attach a cloud file. Now, how to create an agent with a light mode is you click on create agent, and then here, if you see, this is Copilot Studio, but this is a light mode. So this is not the entire Copilot Studio full experience, but you will get a limited option set over here. What are the options you get? You get an option to type your message over here to create that specific agent. So you describe the agent. What kind of agent do you want? Do you want a career coach? Do you want an idea coach? And you can start either utilizing the template, or you can type in your own prompt, and then the agent will get provisioned. You get to see various options over here. If I click on more, you get to see help, documentation, get support, and you can send a feedback. So you don't get much feature set options over here, but I'll show you the same thing which happens in Copilot Studio, whereby you can configure a lot of other things. Click on configure, then here you can actually change the icon of the agent. You can pick up the template, whichever template you want. You can change the icon, you can specify the name of the agent, you can describe the agent, and you can even provide an instructions on what this agent do. Like you can define a stone, you can define the role of an agent, you can specify some guidelines, you can specify some guardrails to the agent. Then you have an option to add a knowledge. So you can actually type in all the website, or you can type in a specific website through which the agent will start retrieving the information. You have an option to prioritize the knowledge source. You add it for the knowledge based queries. Then there are new features like the code interpreter and image generator. So image generator basically creates the visual aids like images and art in response to user prompts. Code interpreter basically create convert the natural language into code to create visualization, solve math problem. And then you have a suggested prompt. So you can specify the suggested prompt, and then once you're done with that, you can just click on create. Now I've already created say one agent which is named as Girish profile agent. Now if I click on three dots over here, if I navigate to settings, I'll be able to see agents. Now here I can manage Copilot agents with external data access. So only agent that require permission for external data access appear here for management. So that's also one of the setting area. And then you can interact with the agent. So this is all about light agent. Now remember, you cannot see the backend. You don't know which solution does it belong to. You cannot use it for ALM approach, neither there is any tool usages, so you cannot use tool. So this is the limited set of options available in the Lite Copilot Studio interface. Now, if you want to configure different set of agents which you have created, you navigate to M365 Admin Center, navigate to Copilot, and then from here you can actually see the Copilot control system. Now, if I go into agents, then here in the agent I'll be able to see the list of all the agents which I have created, or the agent which is being part of the M365 Copilot. So if you see this section, it will show you that this agent is either part of Copilot or Outlook or Teams or Microsoft 365. So there are some agents which is just one of type Copilot, some with three, some with four types. Now I've created some custom agent. So this is the custom agent which I've created, say Gen Org agent. Now the custom agent which I've created, I have an option to block. So if I click on block, I can block this agent. So if you block this agent, people in your org can't install or use it. So I have an option to control that. But for either for one, it's for all the users. So either you block it or you enable it. So that's the only two option you get. This is also another agent which I've created, pickleball agent, but here I have an option to delete it. Now, if you see the difference over here, I can only block the custom agent which I've created, and this is the one which I've created. I can delete and block. Now, why the two difference is because this pickleball agent I have created in M365, so I get a full control. But the GenOrg agent I have created in Copilot Studio with the full experience and published in M365 Copilot, and that's why I get to see only one option to block it. So like that, you can configure in M365 Admin Center. If you want to go into the full experience, navigate to Copilot Studio. From here, you can go into the agents and then you can click on create. Now, when you create an agent, before you even create an agent, you get to see a managed agent option. So this agent is already built for you. So you just need to use it kind of as a template, and then it's a full blown agent. So you can just extend this agent further. Agent template will just give a templatized options of different agent which has already been provisioned, like the safe travels, financial insights, weather, benefits, etc. So you can either start with a manage agent, start with an agent template, or you can start with blank. So I'll click on new agent, and then from here again the same interface, describe, configure. Here you type in the prompt to create an agent, and then it will start provisioning. Your agent will ask you more multi-turn questions, and then your agent will be provisioned. Configure, this is also similar to the Lite experience. So you change the icon, you change the name, you change the description, instructions. You can add knowledge source. Now if I click on add over here, I get to see an option to add a public site, SharePoint, and also Dataverse, Dynamics 365, many others. Now this is not available currently because you are just creating it from start. Now, once you create it, then many options will get enabled. I'll show you that in once I open a different agent. Suggested prompt, you can add a suggested prompt over here and you get this limited options. Now, here you can actually test the agent. Now, here, if I click on three dots, I have an option to update the agent language, which was not available in the Lite experience. If I click on three dots, I get to see update advanced settings. So if I click on advanced setting, I can actually select the Power Platform solution, the container to host the agent, so that I can utilize this solution to transfer it from one environment to another as a part of the application lifecycle management process. I can even change the schema name. So this is all about building an agent. Now, let me cancel the creation of the agent. So I can even cancel the agent creation. And here I'll be presented with a list of all the agents which I have created. Now, if I navigate to say one of the agents, so if I go to tennis agent over here, I get to see a lot of options. I can go into knowledge. I can add multitude of knowledge. So I click on add knowledge. I can add knowledge from public, Dynamics 365, Salesforce, SharePoint, Azure AI Search, ServiceNow, Dataverse, Azure SQL, or I can upload browser file. I can add a file from my file system, OneDrive or SharePoint. Also, I can go into tools and then I can configure multitude of tools. So if I click on add a tool, then multiple tools can be added in this interface. Similarly, I can select a connector, a prompt, a flow, a model context protocol. So if I click on new tool over here, I get an option to add all this different kind of tools. in prompt. So if I want to create a prompt, I have an option to even go further and write a prompt, test the prompt, plus change the model from here as well. So I can even bring a model from Azure AI Foundry model. So I can pick up various large language model like O3, GPT-5, GPT 4.1 mini, GPT-5 reasoning, etc. And then I can write a prompt. Plus I can even create a custom topic. I can add multiple agents. I can add a sub agent, or I can connect to an external agent. So this is I can do in the full blown experience. In topics, I can add multiple topics. Activity, I can see actually what conversation has happened within this particular agent. Analytics, I can view a rich set of analytics in terms of how this agent was consumed, what was the effectiveness, generated answer rate, quality, satisfaction, survey results, and even I can publish this to multiple channels which was not available in the full interface. I can also navigate to settings, and I see a whole bunch of setting over here. I can even specify that this agent should not use GPT-4, but then it should use something else. It should use GPT-5 Auto or Reasoning or 4.1 Preview. And there are other bunch of configuration whereby I can even configure the moderation. I can configure the response formatting. So so overall I can control each and every aspects of this agent. Now you can navigate to Power Platform Admin Center and navigate to Copilot and then go to Copilot Studio. Here I'll be able to configure various other things. So I can configure the code generation and execution. I can configure the connected agents, skills, authentication, sharing. So I get to see whole bunch of settings in Copilot Studio. Plus, I can even track what's happening with the Copilot Studio agent in terms of how many messages have been consumed, active agents, agent session rates, etc. So that's it, folks. This is all about different set of interface through which you can create an agent, namely light versus full experience. And now, as I explained you the difference between light and full experience gives you that full capability. Light experience is just for the starters who wants to just actually get hold of how to create an agent, and which with a limited use. But if you want to have a full blown experience, navigate to Copilot Studio to gain that full experience. Thanks for watching.